This is Shelley Craft coming to you live on SNNLive. We're at BioMaryland's booth at Bio International 2014 right here in San Diego. With me is Dr. Stephen Ritterbush of Cordex Systems. It's a private company. Steve, welcome to SNNLive.
Thanks very much, Shelley. Happy to be here.
Good to have you. Let's get right into it. Tell us about Cordex.
Cordex Systems has developed a non-invasive medical device that's able to diagnose the earliest stages of cardiovascular disease.
So I have to ask you, how does it work?
How does it work? Basically, what we look at is the something called endothelial dysfunction, which is the looking at the endothelium, which is the inner lining of the arterial system. And we look at the performance of the endothelium under pressure, much like the blood pressure cuff operates.
So how do you do it? I understand it's non-invasive, and I understand it's like you would take blood pressure. And how do the vessels respond? That's kind of like my question.
We do two runs. It's essentially a modification of a blood pressure cuff with advanced signal processing and algorithms. And what we do is we put the cuff on just like you're in the doctor's office for a blood pressure run. We do one blood pressure run, and then immediately thereafter we do what's called an endothelial dysfunction run, where we put the arterial system under pressure for an extended period. In this case, about 4 minutes. We cause full relaxation of the arterial system, and then again of the endothelium inside. And then when we release the pressure there, we watch the expansion of the artery once the arterial system has full relaxation. And the greater the expansion, the healthier your artery.
How is it tested today before your company?
There is only one other company that does it through a biomarker that looks at temperature changes at the fingertips, but other than that, the main ways to do it are through brachial artery ultrasound or looking at plaque within the arteries invasively through an angiogram, or indeed you can even go to a nuclear stress test.
What's your background?
My background is I'm in engineering. I'm an engineer by training. I've done a number of medical companies, biomedical companies. I did one for prostate surgery. I did another for less invasive OBGYN catheters. So I've done a number of these over the years.
So how large a market do you think this is? I'm not trying to be invasive here.
No pun intended, huh?
Not at all.
No pun intended. The market of this is significant. If you look at the number of people that have cardiovascular disease in the United States, there are over 80 million people that have some form of cardiovascular disease, all the way from the various early stages to where they're getting, basically stents or other forms of operations. We would sell this device largely to cardiologists, to primary care physicians, to hospitals. So if you look at the number of cardiologists, primary care physicians, there's probably 300,000. You've got about 5,000 in some hospitals. So we think the market for this is somewhere around 500,000 units. So it's a big market. It's a multi-billion-dollar market.
So let me ask you a question. If I'm at my doctor and I'm not showing any symptoms, and let's say I'm, in a category of a patient that needs to be, watched and looked at on occasion, why wouldn't he want to do this test on me just like he's checking my blood pressure if I'm not showing any symptoms?
Well, ideally you would, because by the time most people are showing symptoms of cardiovascular disease, it's already too late. You've already started to stuff yourself up with plaque, and it's affecting your system. So many times you have inflammation within the system. There's no way really to diagnose that. So this is something that doctors, if this takes, as we believe it should, is a way for doctors to very early get in and diagnose your cardiovascular health and then put you on, happy thought, no smoking, weight loss, exercise, but also we can track the efficacy of various types of drugs, and so we can see what the improvement is in the cardiovascular systems under these different regimes.
From a standpoint of reimbursement, I know I'm a little ahead of the game, but wouldn't this be something that would easily fit into a reimbursement program?
There are 2 CPT codes out there already that cover this area, then we believe that apply themselves to this device. It's a bit like, I'm basically probably showing my age here, but it's a bit like the Fram oil filter. Pay me
That was
now.
before my time.
Pay
Sorry.
me now, pay me later,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Pay me now or pay me later. But this is the type of thing that if the insurance companies really got on board, it's like, let's catch cardiovascular disease at its earliest stages, track it, track your health. And right now when you go to the doctor and he says, hey, Shelley, you know, have you lost weight? Stop smoking? And it gives you an attaboy. Well, you know, there's really no way to tell, you know, how you've been doing. And this is a way for you to track your endothelial health, if you will, over time.
Why Maryland?
Maryland has been great. I mean, if I've been doing this for so long in a number of companies, early stage venture capital is virtually dried up. After the 2008, 2009 timeframe with the big crash, everything in this space dried up. Maryland has been instrumental in us getting this device off the ground. They provided us grants from TEDCO, from MIPS, and now we've just gotten a grant from BioMaryland to partially fund our clinical trial at Johns Hopkins, which is going to start in September.
So, Steve, let me ask you a question. Where was this created, and who are some of the folks involved in the company?
Yeah, there's actually three of us, and this technology was actually developed by a Dr. Michael Witt when he was at Purdue University as part of his doctoral dissertation, actually. And then he linked up with a lady by the name of Dr. Kathy Magliato, who's a noted open heart surgeon here on the West Coast. And he and Kathy actually put the early stages of this company together. Joined up with me because I had the business background, and the three of us put Cordex systems together, and hence that's how we've gotten to the point we are today, largely again through, you know, BioMaryland.
So if someone wanted to reach you, what would be the best way to do so?
Best way to do so is through our email system. They can contact me, Dr. Stephen Ritterbush. It's sritterbush at Cordex Systems, CORDEX.com.
And Ritterbush, you better spell for the folks.
Ritterbush. I get asked that a lot.
I bet. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Stephen Ritterbush, Cordex Systems. It's a private company. I'm Shelley Kraft. This is SNNLive. We're coming to you from BioMaryland at Bio International 2014, right here in San Diego, California. Thanks again for coming on.
Thanks very much, Shelley.
Good to have you.